can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
What does it mean to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
We do not have a definition for the court.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means for equal protection purposes?
To play on a team that matches their gender identity. Cisgender women can do it. Transgender women cannot. And so we do appreciate a distinction, I think, that is being drawn on the basis of your gender status, gender identity status, trans or cis, right? It's like a second order discrimination, right? The first order is separating male from female.
Right.
The second order is separating transgender women from cisgender women, right?
Respectfully, I would disagree.
No.
The term transgender did not become more common till now. I mean, we've already covered that transgender people are a meaningful slice of the population.
Let's go through this. There's intellectual dishonesty here. That was Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson and an ACL lawyer claiming they somehow cannot define what a woman is, but then they were quickly able to define far-left gender identity terms. This is a high-stakes Supreme Court case on whether biological men can play in women's sports, which puts women and girls at risk of physical injury, harm, and much more every day. Let's welcome back to the show former Trump Deputy Counsel Gene Hamilton. Gene, your reaction to all this, what do you think?
Look, I think this case shows the importance of getting good judges on the Supreme Court and all of the federal courts across the country, because you want people who understand that the purpose when you're interpreting a statute is to look at the ordinary plain meaning of the term, of the text of the statute at the time that it was passed, the time that it was adopted. In 1972, when they passed Title IX, and in all of the regulations and all the amendments to Title IX since then, so for 50 years, everybody has understood that sex means exactly what we think it means. Boy, girl, man, woman. It doesn't mean 72 different gender identities. It doesn't mean that gender is some fluid concept. Imagine trying to write that into law. So I think what we're going to see is that the states here will prevail with their laws, will be upheld by the Supreme Court. States will have the ability to actually protect girls' sports from being intruded upon by biological men. And then on the flip side, of course, the other thing that we have to wrestle with, and this just highlights all of it, the absurdity of what the modern left does when it tries to interpret a statute. What they do is they are all outcomes oriented. There's no rooted textual approach that's at issue here from their perspective. What the words mean, whatever they think it,
so
what
in
they
order
want
for them
it
to
be.
win, yeah. So here's the thing, everybody understands people transitioning deserve dignity and understanding. But the Washington Post reported, and we looked into these multiple studies that show testosterone still remains in the male body even after a sex change, with all the physical advantages over women. Multiple studies the NIH funded and published. Anywhere from a quarter to nearly half of biological males who transition still have testosterone in their bodies after hormone treatments. That gives them physical advantages on the sports playing field, Gene.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's follow the science, right? That's what the left has told us for so long in so many contexts. Let's follow the science. The science is simply here. If you were born a biological man, you are going to be a biological man for the rest of your life. If you were born a biological woman, you're going to be a biological woman for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean that you treat people with disrespect. It doesn't mean anything of the sort. It means that when Congress passes laws and they use terms like sex, you have to give them the meaning that they deserve. And of course, Congress passed these laws understanding that there are differences between men and women, and they are enduring.
All right. Gene Hamilton, former White House Deputy Counsel.